everyone. I am Ashley McManus, Director of Marketing at Affectiva. Welcome to Affectiva Asks, an automotive AI podcast, where each episode we will interview a thought leader doing cutting-edge work in the automotive space. A little about us: Affectiva is a pioneer of human perception AI, software that can detect nuanced human emotions, complex cognitive states, behaviors, activities, and interactions. And Affectiva is applying this technology to advance the next generation of multimodal in-cabin sensing. Today's episode features Veoneer and discusses how to build trust with vehicles in order to improve road safety. How can we create trust in mobility? That is the question Ola Ballström, the Vice President of Research Innovation, wrestles with at Veoneer. Veoneer is a mobility safety company that designs, compiles, and sells software, hardware, and systems for active safety, autonomous driving, occupant protection, and brake control. We recently caught up with Ola after a component of Veoneer's CES 2019 demo featured Affectiva's Emotion AI technology to learn a little bit more about his work to improve road safety. Here's what he had to say.
Okay, I am here with Ola Ballström, the Vice President of Research, Innovation, and IPR at Veoneer. So Ola, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thank you.
Awesome. So I'm excited to get started here. I was really interested in just, Veoneer and its mission. Tell us a little bit more about your company.
So we are a spin-off of Autoliv that has a long history in traffic safety. We are developing and manufacturing ADAS and AD hardware and software in the automotive industry.
Great. So let's take a step back. So what has your career path been, and how did you get to where you are today?
So me personally, I started at Autoliv 24 years ago.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been a while. So and basically covered sort of research in order to implement new technologies into the car to make them safer.
Great. So earlier this year, or actually last year, we had you speak at our Emotion AI Summit at a panel session on building trust in next generation vehicles. So for those listening, I was wondering if you could share some thoughts on how OEMs and Tier 1s could go about building that trust between consumers and their vehicles.
Yeah, that was a good, great event last year, and it coincided with Veoneer forming, and actually our purpose is to create trust in mobility. So it was very good in par with that theme. So we have understood from research and from our customers that the big challenge to implement technology to make mobility safer or safe is to create trust in the mobility. So that event was a good initiative.
Sure. Is there, I actually read an article that you wrote, I believe it was in December, where you kind of took through a few different instances of how we can better build, trust with vehicles, and how, you can put these systems in place to better enable that. Can you speak a little bit more about those thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's something we've been vocal about recently is that we see the need of focusing and taking the challenge of collaborative driving. Autonomous driving has been in height for some time now, and that will happen and is happening for sure. But to really address the 1.4 million traffic deaths annually out there, and it's going to the exposure, the number of people out there on the roads will more than double in the coming years. The the even huger challenge than autonomous driving is to have collaborative driving. And with collaboration, we refer to collaboration between the human and the car, the human in the car and the car, and in between cars and humans outside the car, etc., etc. So the trust part there is to make sure you don't under trust and actually switch off functions or not even asking for them, as well as an over trust, which we see so many examples of today, where basically people believe that they can do all sort of things on the iPhone, for example, or on the smartphone while driving. So to find a true trust where you understand the limitations of the technology, but you also would like to use the technology.
Awesome, very interesting. Also, earlier this year, Veoneer had a demo at CES. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about it for those who didn't attend, and what the technology was and what you were trying to accomplish. I know Affectiva was part of that as well.
Yes, they were, certainly, and thank you for that. So what we showed this year was again our learning and intelligent vehicle live. This was a third time in a row at CES. For us, the learning part is key to create a trust in mobility, to enable safe driving. The technology needs to learn. We have to implement new technologies, and we have to learn from what is happening on the roads, and move forward. So this learning intelligent vehicle was a user experience for invited guests. I think we had almost 1,000 people from OEMs and investors and media enjoying this user experience. And what it was basically to drive yourself on a track and experience use cases which we think are corner cases. The car is coming into a tunnel, for example. It's dark, it's foggy, and all of a sudden, the car itself moves to the left, and you realize that it's actually a pedestrian that was just in front of the car, but now the car has made sure that you don't run over that pedestrian. That was one example, and then corner case where it's foggy weather, snowy, and so forth, and you have this sort of collaboration with the vehicle. Another was we had a 5G network with an edge cloud, thanks to partnership with Ericsson, and where we had road workers connected via 5G, so the car knew more exactly where they were on the road. We also had a control tower interacting with the driver in the car when the car was basically obstructed to move forward in an automated mode. So the control tower gave permission to actually reroute and go in a way which is not legal to do for the car.
Yeah.
And so. We had there were so many things I can't speak about them all. But when it comes to the Affectiva, we were using the Emotion AI tech from you, where we recorded the emotions and could show that afterwards for the driver to go through the experience. So the driver could afterwards sort of fast forward or go through and look into what really happened here. Look, you were surprised when you went into the foggy, dark tunnel. You were happy when you realized, and so and so. So I think that was again a good experience to show that there are corner cases, and it's important to understand the driver.
Sure. Now, when you were able to detect moments of, like you said, surprise or happiness, was there any, or are there any ideas that you have based on detecting those reactions? Like, would you want the car to do this, or like, have you thought through like how the car would react to that reaction in context?
Yes and no. These moments, actually, we call them moments of truth.
Moments of truth.
And moments of truth. So we realize that creating trust and mobility and introducing new technology, going to a high level of collaboration, means that we are entering new grounds here where we don't know how the human will react. We don't know how will the human cope with the fact that the car will take over. And the same for the car needs to be better technology-wise to understand when is appropriate time to take over. So in this sort of collaboration, and especially in these takeovers, these moments we call moments of truth, and of course then understanding the emotions of the driver is important here to do that. So I would say we don't really know exactly what to do. We understand that it's important to track what is happening and learn from that, and make sure that the drivers are trusting the car and the car trusting the driver. And this doesn't come for free. This is something we have to both from a supplier point of view. We need to understand what to do, and we also need to do a lot of joint research.
Absolutely. I'm wondering also, so different people, express different emotions or react in different ways. Have you thought at all about, customization or personalization of different people, over time, and kind of creating that, I guess, personalized experience based on what occurs within a vehicle or externally the vehicle and what that looks like?
Definitely. And this sort of making the tech adaptive and personalized, I think that's a key to create this trust. There are, I mean, we know from beforehand that there is so huge difference between a driver who is using the car once a month and someone who is a professional and driver all the day. So and so forth with culture and so on. So yes, introducing these new technologies, we really need to understand how to adapt to the circumstances and to the persons. And again, we need to do research. And I think what we started at CES is even a base for collecting data to do such research.
Right. Great. I'm curious if you can talk about anything that you're currently up to now, or any projects that you're currently running or about to be doing in the future.
So, of course, I can't reveal what we're coming up with, but what is the next thing is to implement the technologies we have experimenting with and tried out and came up with and developed at the Live vehicle. So basically, one of the next phases is to basically implement parts of the Live features into customer projects.
Okay. Very cool. So something I wanted to get your thoughts on. So at Affectiva, we're working with OEMs and Tier 1s on human perception AI, which is detecting all things human within the car. Today, we're mostly focused on driver monitoring and improving road safety, specifically through distraction and drowsiness detection. But we're going to expand our AI to things like occupant experience monitoring with the emotion AI. So from where you're sitting and based on your experiences, how might this be most helpful to car passengers and drivers? And, what would a successful implementation of this technology look like to you?
So, again, understanding the driver and the passengers is a key. The trusting part goes to both drivers and passengers in any levels of automation. I believe that there's a lot of research to do, and we have a lot of very thoughtful and good limitations. We should not. So it's important to not act upon to make sure that the privacy is guaranteed of the drivers and the passengers. We have the GDPR in Europe, which is helpful. But beyond that, all this new tech should not be a threat or a threat to ethics and privacy. So I'm just mentioning that because I think that could be a backlash if one is not thinking about that. I think there are room for innovation here. How much of detailed information is needed, what type of emotion, cognitive load, engagement is the key to understand the drivers and the passengers. So I say we have come a long way already. Driver monitoring is coming into the NCAPs of at least Europe to start with, which means there will be driver monitoring in 5-star cars very soon. The same thing is happening in North America and Asia. So the expansion of this I'm quite sure we will see a lot of innovation, and we will see we will learn what is the most important and what is needed.
Great. So this has been super fascinating. I'm curious for our listeners, is there anywhere people can go to learn more about you and your work at Veoneer, or any articles or papers that you've published recently?
Yeah, to start with, the social media. We are trying to use social media for our activities. Same with our homepage, Veoneer.com. That's a good starting point.
Awesome. Do you have any asks of them or how they can help?
So I use the word collaborative driving, and I think that goes to when it comes to collaboration, that goes within the industry and the not only the industry, the society. I think we are in an era now where we don't compete as we might have done previously. It's more important to collaborate with open source and with transparent, open discussions, with projects that is including industry and universities and authorities and towns and regions. Right. So collaboration.
Right. Any other thoughts you'd like to share about what you're doing or working on that we didn't cover today?
I think we covered a lot. We have to make sure we don't. We started as as a company, I mean, in the Autoliv time, we saved lives, and we're still sort of a safety company, Veoneer, but and we have sort of expanded with that, with creating trust. But we should not forget that it should be safe. We are working on safety.
Right.
That's just a reminding word.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, kind of a fun question that we're asking all of the guests on our podcast. If your car could do one cool thing in the future to make your life a little easier, maybe it's a self-driving car, what would it be?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question, and I think it's a very personal question. I think you will. I guess you are getting different answers, and depending on the mood of the person answer. If you ask me right now, I would just pick one thing I'm thinking of now. It would not be a general answer. Actually, it would be to the car letting me off, so to say, park, so I can have the last mile in a optimal way. That could be running the last mile, or taking a kayak, or skiing. But the car would make sure that the last mile is something I could enjoy doing that.
Interesting. Okay. Cool. So that's all for me. I just want to thank you, Ola, again so much for speaking with me today, and I look forward to catching up again soon.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Great.
What I loved about the conversation with Ola was the focus on a thoughtful approach to building trust between consumers and their vehicles. There are many considerations OEMs and Tier 1s should keep in mind when developing these systems that can help save lives. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Remember to subscribe to Affectiva's Auto AI podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts for new episodes. We are also on social media, so please reach out to us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram at Affectiva to share any feedback you have on the show and weigh in on the discussion. Until next time, thanks for listening.